Philadelphia Eagles just locked up the future of their defensive line, my friend. $78 million total, with $65 million fully guaranteed. That is the contract that just made NFL history, and you need to understand what it means for the future of this team. The clock was ticking on a decision that could define the defensive identity of the Eagles for years to come. With NFL free agency opening in days and the negotiating window already heating up, Howie Roseman went out and did exactly what Howie Roseman does. He locked up a cornerstone piece before the market exploded. And this move now places an Eagles player at the very top of NFL history at his position. I'm going to break down everything about who this player is, what this contract means for the cap, and the full impact of this extension on the Eagles' future. But first, if you're a diehard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe right now because this channel brings you Eagles news before everyone else, with real analysis, no filler. According to ESPN, the Philadelphia Eagles and defensive tackle Jordan Davis have agreed on a 3-year contract extension worth $78 million, with $65 million guaranteed. This package keeps Jordan Davis in Philadelphia for 4 more seasons and makes him the highest-paid nose tackle in NFL history. Say it again. The highest-paid nose tackle in NFL history. Let that number sink in. Before this extension, Davis was set to play the 2026 season on $12,900,000 from the 5th-year option the Eagles had picked up ahead of last season. Now, Roseman restructured everything and locked down one of the pillars of Philadelphia's defensive system for the long haul. But who is Jordan Davis, and why is he worth this kind of investment? Let's go back to the beginning. Davis was the 13th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft out of the University of Georgia, where he was absolutely dominant. Standing 6 feet 6 inches tall and weighing over 336 pounds of pure muscle, Davis arrived in the league as a force of nature. A nose tackle with those dimensions and the athleticism he showed throughout the pre-draft process was the kind of rarity that doesn't come around every generation, and the Eagles bet right. Over the past 3 seasons, Jordan Davis has started every single game for Philadelphia, including the Super Bowl 59 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in February of 2025. 3 full seasons as a starter, consistency, professionalism, and domination in the trenches. Across 64 regular season games with 56 starts, Davis has recorded 8 sacks, 162 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Do you know what those numbers mean for a nose tackle? They mean a player who, beyond anchoring the run game and freeing his line mates to make individual plays, can still impact the game through the air. But Davis's playoff history is where things get even more interesting. In the 2024 NFC Championship game against the Washington Commanders, Davis recorded a sack. In Super Bowl 59, he added another sack. And in Philadelphia's wildcard loss to the San Francisco 49ers last season, he racked up 6 tackles. This man does not disappear in big moments, my friend. He shows up. Now think about the tactical dimension of this extension for the Eagles. Philadelphia's defensive line is built around the concept of dominating the trenches and generating pressure without needing to blitz. That is exactly what the world saw in Super Bowl 59, when the Eagles' defense dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs, using essentially just their 4 rushers, and Jordan Davis is the anchor that makes the entire scheme work. When you have a 336-pound nose tackle who can tie up 2 blockers at once, you free the talent around him to wreak havoc. And speaking of the talent around him, this extension carries an even bigger subplot. Davis's interior defensive line partner with the Eagles, Jalen Carter, is also entering his contract extension window for the first time in his career. Carter, the 9th overall pick in the 2023 draft, had an injury-hampered 2025 season, playing just 11 games due to shoulder issues. But when healthy, he is widely considered one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. The question all of Philadelphia is asking right now is, with Davis's contract locked in, what happens with Jalen Carter? Can the Eagles actually keep both of them on the same roster? From a financial standpoint, this Davis extension was structured intelligently. By signing a long-term deal now instead of letting Davis play out on his 5th-year option, the Eagles likely managed to spread the cap hit across multiple years in a way that creates immediate flexibility. This is the classic Howie Roseman move: solve the problem before it becomes a fire. Davis was about to cost nearly $13 million in this season alone, and now with the extension, the number can be shaped in a way that gives Philadelphia more room to maneuver. And that flexibility is going to be critical. Free agency opens in days, and the Eagles have major decisions ahead. Locking up Davis removes one enormous variable from the equation and allows Roseman to approach the rest of the roster with greater clarity. When you eliminate an uncertainty of this magnitude from your planning, you open the door to act more aggressively at the other positions that need reinforcement. Jordan Davis arrived in the league being compared to the greatest nose tackles in football history. He went through an adjustment period, as almost every young player at his position does, but over the past 3 seasons, he has shown exactly why the Eagles drafted him so high back in 2022. He is the kind of player who defines what a team is defensively. He is the guy who takes the field every Sunday and does the dirty work that never shows up in the headlines, but makes all the difference when the team needs to protect a lead or stuff the run in the third quarter of a playoff game. And there is another angle to this story that a lot of people are going to underestimate: the message this contract sends to the Eagles' locker room. When Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie put $65 million guaranteed dollars on the table for a nose tackle, they are signaling to every single player on that roster that hard work gets recognized, that commitment to the system gets rewarded, and that Philadelphia is a place where great players want to be and want to stay. Culture wins championships, my friend, and this contract is culture. And look at the historical context here. Being called the highest paid nose tackle in NFL history is not just a contract, it is a recognition of a position. For years, the nose tackle spot was consistently undervalued in the market. Davis, with this extension, changes that narrative. The Eagles are telling the entire league that a dominant nose tackle is worth every single penny. Think also about the impact this extension has on how the Eagles are perceived as a destination. In an offseason where free agency is about to move dozens of elite players, Philadelphia enters the market with a clear message. They know how to take care of their best players. Roseman did not wait for Jordan Davis to test the open market, did not wait for another team to make an offer and then get into a bidding war. He acted, he showed his appreciation, he closed the deal. That is the kind of management that builds dynasties. My friend, this story goes far beyond $78 million. It speaks to the long-term vision of the Philadelphia Eagles. It speaks to Howie Roseman understanding that the competitive window is wide open and that you do not let your cornerstones reach the open market. It speaks to Jordan Davis receiving the recognition that a player who has spent 4 seasons in Philadelphia and has a Super Bowl on his resume absolutely deserves. The Eagles' defensive line remains one of the most terrifying units in the NFL. And now with Davis locked in for 4 more years, the question I'll leave with you is this: will Howie Roseman be able to keep Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter together in Philadelphia at the same time, or will the salary cap math force a very difficult choice down the road? Tell me in the comments what you think happens with Jalen Carter this offseason. And if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Hit the bell, turn on notifications, because the next few weeks in Philadelphia are going to be wild. Fly, Eagles, fly.